we're going to remove the beeper from this hoverboard because it's really annoying. First, we have to decide where the battery side is and where the control board side is. Control board is going to be on the side with the switch and the plug. Battery is on the other side. Ideally, all we're going to need for this repair is a standard screwdriver and a hot soldering pen. I'm going to take off all of the screws and remove the bottom. You will notice that one of the screw holes has tape over top of it. We'll call that tamper tape. That's how the company will know if you have messed around with this thing and void any kind of warranty and or liability that they have for anything that you've done with this machine. But if you're gonna go to the trouble to remove the noisemaker like I am, the tamper tape doesn't really mean a lot to you anyway. Once all the screws have been removed, we expose the board as well as all of the cables and wiring. We're only going to disconnect two things real quick just to give us some more space. The light clip, that gives us way more opportunity to open this thing up. And then for safety's sake, I'm going to disconnect the power that comes in from the battery. It's the two biggest red and black cables. They're pretty self-explanatory how they go on, so don't worry about mixing them up. They really can only go on one way. Once those are disconnected, then we'll find the noisemaker. And we are looking for this thing right here. That is the thing that makes the noise. It could be in a different place on your board, but it'll look exactly like this. Little round guy with a silver tab in the middle. We're going to try to remove that, and that will need our soldering pen. On this specific board, I'm going to remove two more cables just to give myself a little bit more space to work with. They're both the switch and the charge cables. Can't mix them up. They go in different tabs, and you'll know which one is which, or take pictures as you go. That way you know how to plug stuff back in without worrying about it next time. My board has two screws that hold it down. Some boards will only have one or on either end. These two screws come up, and then the board will slide out, exposing the two metal tabs that we need to heat with the soldering pen to then remove that. Once my pen is hot, I'm going to go ahead and start heating those two tabs. It should go pretty quickly, and I'm going to try to kind of pry up as I've got this heated, so once the solder melts, that tab should come right up. It's going to be kind of tricky, so I'm going to probably do it off camera. But the idea is to heat up these two little globs of solder enough so that we can just slide the noisemaker tab straight out. Now that's melted and hot. Let's see if I can just do it. Yep, got it pretty loose. So I'm going to melt the other one. And I just want to be sure I'm not going to touch anything else on this board with this soldering pen. All right, that looks pretty melty. Oh yeah, that'll come right up. And there it goes. See it. Those two metal tabs are what got soldered into the board and what we're loosening up to pull. And then to get it back together, it's just reverse of how we took it all apart. I'm going to slide my board back in place, grab my two tiny screws for the board. I'm going to use a littler screwdriver this time. This is also magnetic. That is very helpful in these situations. And I'm just going to go ahead and put all these things back together the exact same way I took them out, doing the power last. That's backwards. There we go. There we go. test functionality. We're not going to hear anything, but we should see these lights come back on. There we have it. And no sound. Most of my screws back in. I found it a little bit easier to tighten it while it's sitting upright this way instead of flat on its face. But, you know, your mileage may vary. Then have your kiddos test it out. Ideally, nothing has changed except you get to live in the glorious silence that isn't constant beeping every time your kids use their hoverboards. So, questions, comments? Let me know. I'm gonna go do my daughter's hoverboard as well, because man, that was pretty straightforward and easy.